Welcome to LinesToGo installation videos. Today we will be removing and installing brake lines on a 2006 GMC Sierra using LinesToGo part number BLC-221-SS. While this particular installation is being performed on a 2006 Sierra, this set of lines will also fit the following year, make, and models as shown on your screen now. LinesToGo lines are made using original equipment end forms and fittings that are CNC bent for an easy and precise installation. We have also upgraded to stainless steel braided Teflon hoses for rust protection and to prevent surface fouling. These have an unlimited shelf life and anti-static PTFE liner. This set of LinesToGo lines are made using 304L stainless steel for rust resistance that exceeds OEM standards. Tech tip: disconnect the battery before working on a vehicle to reduce the risk of shorting out the battery on tools or lines. LinesToGo lines are made with a sectional design for easier installation. We also use color-coded unions on our sectioned lines. Just match the colors at the connections. Make sure to depressurize the fuel system before starting the installation. Tools required: 7mm, 10mm, 13mm, 15mm, and 22mm sockets and ratchet. 5/16 of an inch, 10mm, 12mm, 13mm, and 14mm wrenches, cutting pliers, flat blade and Phillips screwdrivers, drain pan, jack and jack stands. The level of difficulty for this installation is considered to be easy. To depressurize the fuel system, locate the fuel pump fuse using your owner's manual and remove it. Start the vehicle and wait for the engine to stall. Make sure to replace the fuse once completed. One or more of the lines in this set comes with a shipping bend. Straighten out the line between the two labels by hand. Start by disconnecting the battery using a 5/16 of an inch wrench. Next, use a 14mm wrench to remove both threaded fittings from the master cylinder. Raise and support the vehicle and use a 22mm socket to remove all four wheels. Remove both front inner fenders by removing the plastic push clips using a flat blade screwdriver. Remove the screws at the top and rear of the fenders using a 7mm socket along with a Phillips screwdriver. Remove the bolt at the front of the fenders using a 10mm socket. Remove both front inner fenders from the vehicle. Next, use a 12mm wrench to remove the threaded fittings from the left and right front flex hoses. Remove all 5 threaded fittings from the ABS module using a 14mm wrench. Remove the lines from the plastic brackets along the frame. Remove the 2 lines going from the master cylinder to the ABS module from the vehicle. Using a pair of cutting pliers, cut the line going to the right front wheel inside of the left front wheel well. Remove the rear section of the right front line from the vehicle. Remove the front section of the right front line from the plastic clips along the frame. Remove the front section of the right front line from the vehicle. Next, remove the left front line from the vehicle. Next, at the rear of the vehicle, remove the 3 vent lines from the charcoal canister by depressing the plastic tabs. Using a 13mm socket and wrench, remove the bolt securing the charcoal canister to the metal bracket and remove the charcoal canister from the vehicle. Next, remove the fuel line at the front of the tank by depressing the two tabs on the connection. Using a 15mm socket, remove the 3 bolts that secure the fuel tank cover and remove the fuel tank cover from the vehicle. Remove the fuel filler cap and use a 7mm socket to remove the 3 screws that secure the filler neck. Support the fuel tank and use a 15mm socket to remove the 2 bolts that secure the fuel tank straps and remove the fuel tank straps from the vehicle. Lower the fuel tank, making sure to route the filler neck over the frame and lower until you have access to remove the 2 electrical connectors located on the sending unit. Remove the fuel tank from underneath the vehicle. Next, at the top of the rear flex hose over the rear axle, use a 13mm wrench to remove the threaded fitting. Remove the rear feed line from the plastic clips along the frame. Using a pair of cutting pliers, cut the rear line in the center and then remove the front and rear sections from the vehicle. At the rear axle, use a 13mm socket to remove the bolts that secure the axle lines to the axle and remove the metal bracket from the lines. Use a flat blade screwdriver to remove the plastic brackets from the rear axle. Use a 13mm wrench to remove the threaded fittings from the left and right rear wheel cylinders. Use a 14mm wrench to remove the threaded fittings from the rear flex hose union. Remove both rear axle lines from the vehicle. To begin the installation of your new stainless steel LinesToGo brake lines, start by installing the line labeled 05A into position. Start the threaded fitting into the top outboard port on the ABS module. Secure the line into the plastic clips along the frame. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 05B into position. Start the threaded union with line 05A, noting the LinesToGo color-coded connection. Start the rear threaded fitting into the top of the rear flex hose and tighten using a 14mm wrench along with the fitting in the ABS module. Use 2 14mm wrenches to tighten the union. Secure the line into the plastic clips along the frame. Next, install the line labeled 06A into position and start the threaded fittings into the left rear wheel cylinder and the left side of the rear flex hose union. Tighten both fittings using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the line labeled 06B into position and start the threaded fittings into the right rear wheel cylinder and the right side of the rear flex hose union. Tighten both fittings using a 14mm wrench. Replace the metal brackets removed from the old axle lines and secure them using a 13mm socket. Replace the plastic brackets removed earlier. Replace the fuel tank underneath the vehicle and replace the two electrical connectors. Raise the fuel tank into position, making sure to route the filler neck into position over the frame. Replace the tank straps and secure them using a 15mm socket. Replace the lower tank cover and secure it using a 15mm socket. Connect the fuel feed line at the front of the tank. Replace the charcoal canister back into position and replace the nut and bolt that secures it using a 13mm wrench and socket. Replace the 3 vent lines onto the charcoal canister. Use a 7mm socket to secure the 3 screws that secure the fuel filler neck. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 04A into position. Start the fitting into the top center port on the ABS module. Next, install the front section of the right front line labeled 04B into position and secure it into the plastic brackets. Start the threaded fitting into the right front flex hose. Start the threaded union with line 04A and tighten using 2 14mm wrenches. Tighten the fitting in the right front flex hose using a 14mm wrench. Secure the line into the plastic clips. Tighten the fitting in the ABS module using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 03 into position. Start the front threaded fitting into the left front flex hose and the rear fitting into the top inboard port on the ABS module. Tighten both fittings using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 01 into position. Start the rear fitting into the bottom inboard port in the ABS module and tighten using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the LinesToGo line labeled 02 into position. Start the rear fitting into the bottom outboard port in the ABS module and tighten using a 14mm wrench. Start the line labeled 01 into the rear port in the master cylinder and the line labeled 02 into the front port. Tighten both fittings in the master cylinder using a 14mm wrench. Bleed all 4 wheels using a 10mm wrench, making sure to keep the master cylinder reservoir topped up with fluid. Install both front inner fenders and secure them using the plastic push clips. Replace the bolts using a 7mm socket and a Phillips screwdriver for the top and rear of the fender and a 10mm socket for the front. Replace all 4 wheels and torque to the manufacturer's specification using a 22mm socket. Reconnect the battery using a 5/16 inch wrench. This concludes the installation of stainless steel brake lines on a 2006 Sierra using LinesToGo part number BLC-221-SS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to purchase the lines you saw today, please call us at 1-855-781-5992. Email us at info@linestogo.com or check out our website link below. And don't forget to take advantage of our free 2-day shipping. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on our next video.